The essence of biohacking and the true definition is to optimize the environment inside and outside of you to take control of your biology. But that sounds a bit geeky, to be quite honest. What I see it as is doing everything you should do based on evolution to make sure our body operates as it should do. Now, if you're living on a beach or living on a desert island, you don't need a red light therapy device or a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. However, when you live in a city and you're surrounded by toxins and pollution and not getting much natural light, you need some of those biohacks. So really it's understanding what the body needs on a cellular level to operate correctly and what it's having inside of it, such as toxins that you need to get out. That's really the essence of biohacking. You have all the lovely devices and blood tests and everything which tells you if you're on track, but really it comes down to that, getting the toxins out and getting the nutrients in. Since 2003, I've been a psychology guy, a marketing guy, and selling stuff online. And I remember sitting at my desk one day saying, there's nowhere I'd rather be than at my desk building my company. Fast forward 10 years, I got sick. And it got to the point where I had to have my mum drive me to the doctors pretty much every single day of 1 week. And the doctor shrugged his shoulders and said, can't find anything wrong. There was clearly something wrong. That's when I realized the medical system doesn't understand chronic health issues or preventative. It only understands clearing up messes when it's there, when it's too late. We have a car, it's expensive, and we service it every year because we don't want it to go wrong. And yet with our bodies, do we? No, we don't. So it's important that we service our bodies too and prevent things from going wrong. That's what happened to me, and it was too late. So I had to figure out over the next 5-6 years what to do. That was my entryway in, is because I had a gun to my head saying, Tim, you can't leave the house right now because you're so sick. If you don't do something about this and you rely on the doctors, you're not going to be operating a company again. So I just took it on myself to fix this stuff. I want to share this with the world. I want people to not have to go through the stuff I went through. So I'm going to share it with the world. And that's when I started the meetup and the conferences and my Instagram and all of these things, just so the world didn't have to fall into the same hole I was in when it was too late. There's so many rituals that I have to deal with through the day just to keep everything on track, but I think it's more about commitment and consistency than anything else. Rituals such as sitting down and journaling every morning to get my thoughts out of my head and to calm my mind so I don't have to be too busy mind-wise throughout the day. Also reading to fuel my brain for extra knowledge on a daily basis. And then probably my most important ritual, other than having a lovely hot shower, is my coffee mixed with some collagen and some cream. Starts the day off strong. The principles I'd recommend for everyone, every single one of you out there, would be very simple. Eat well, sleep well, hydrate well, sun well, ground well, move well, love well, relate well. It's very, very basic. If you're not doing those things, everything else will be more difficult. The problem is so many people are looking to optimize the last 20% instead of remembering the first 80%. There's a saying, something along the lines of, a man that has everything wants more. A man that doesn't have health only wants one thing. For me, my health holds me accountable to being the best me, and I'm always going to strive for more. That doesn't mean I don't feel enough, and it doesn't mean I think I should do a lot more, but it's about the constant refinements, the compound effect of doing everything throughout the day. There is also a saying, a man goes to the doctor and says, "Doctor, I want to live forever." And the doctor says, "Do you drink?" He said, "Nope." "Do you smoke?" "Nope." "Do you eat any junk food?" "Nope." "Do you go skydiving?" "Nope." He said, "Well, why the hell do you want to live forever?" So there is an element of living, but there's also an element of holding yourself accountable to always being the best you. And for me, I know when I am optimal with my health, I'm an optimal human in terms of my emotions, my growth mindset, and those around me appreciate my mood, my energy. Whereas when I'm stressed and underslept and not healthy, I'm a difficult person to be around. I learned to accept myself. I learned to work on myself. I learned to control my emotions and understand them better. I learned to focus on helping others instead of just helping myself. And quite honestly, I look at how I can be an awesome human. I look towards my grandkids one day looking at me saying, he was amazing. I like to use the analogy of like, who would you pick around your fire, your campfire? The tribe leaders that aligned and got on with each other had the best villages, had the best camps, had the healthiest families and children, the most childbearing wives, and lived happily. Whereas the tribe leaders that didn't get along had their camps dwindled and didn't survive so well. So I think surround yourself with amazing people. Choose who would be around your fire because you all resonate and life becomes a lot easier and a lot more fun when you do so. So my relationships changed significantly and the people around me did too. My relationships have flourished. What I'm currently doing to optimize my health has taken best part of 15 years to get to this point. And when I see a biohacker sticking 50 to 70 supplements in his mouth on a daily basis, it tells me that he still doesn't get it. It's not about throwing as many supplements down your throat or doing every technology you can. It's about how little you can do to be as optimal as possible. And I set my life up so that I trip over the things that I need to do, such as there's a pull-up bar between my bathroom and my kitchen, so that I have to do pull-ups every time I go in. There's a balance board next to my standing desk so that I'm always doing something balance-wise to activate my core. And there's a saying that I remember very frequently, and it serves me very well with my health, is the road to success is paved with many tempting parking spaces. You got to know which ones you're going to stop at. And I think majority of biohackers seem to take every opportunity they can and take every single supplement they can, which is, I think, counterproductive because you're not really living, you're living in a prison. I understand for the general population, obsessing about seeing these data points can be overwhelming. The amount of people that said, I've been tracking my sleep. I wake up, I look at my score, and then I feel like a failure because my sleep's not good enough. And then that ruins their psychology, and then they don't feel as good. I like to think of it another way around. I like to think of it that I own my data. I check in with myself on a daily basis and I say, how do I feel? What do I give myself as a score out of 100? I check in with myself and go to my intuition. And then I look at my data and say, the data's wrong. So I think you can obsess about everything. If you imagine driving a car at 30 miles an hour, before you've ever driven a car at 30 miles an hour, your unconscious does not know what 30 miles an hour looks like. But the first time and multiple times after where you drive your car at 30 miles an hour, your unconscious knows how fast that is. It's exactly the same with driving your machine, your body. You can eventually intuitively know how you are feeling by looking at the data as well. Before my chronic health issues appeared, my day would be consisting of getting into the office, saying hello to everyone on the team every morning, and standing at my standing desk while everyone else was around smoking and drinking Coca-Cola. However, I would really enjoy just working. That was my mission, to build my companies and to make something for myself. After getting sick and wanting to share the things that I had learned, my mission became making the world just a little bit better than I found it. And that's a much bigger mission. And my life became so much better from getting sick. And I'm very grateful for being held accountable with my health, because I like to think that I am helping to change the world in some form, leaving it a bit better. So the mission changed from before, where it was self-focused and making business and money, to helping change the world and making money along the way too. A question I get asked a lot is, how long do you want to live to? Why are you doing biohacking? Quite frankly, my family's average age is 82. I'm happy if I get to 85. I don't need to live forever. I'm just going to make sure I have damn good time along the way.